Hey y'all, and we are back, and I wanted to show everyone what the result of our train model looks like. Um, it's sometimes it produces pretty funny results. So here we asked it to generate a health insurance appeal for HIV testing, and instead it said, "Dear insurance company, llama are the type of sheep, and vast majority of llama are genetically tested for a disease called llama virus." I don't know if that's real. It doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound real. But we can see like it also did more reasonable things with Pertazee 10 milligram tablets. I'm writing to appeal the health plan's denial. My psychiatrist recommended it. I'm currently taking Wellbutrin. I prefer not to, etc. And so it's actually generating. Sometimes it's generating valid appeals. Other times it's just generating like garbage. But that's somewhat expected, given that we trained this model on perhaps not the highest quality of data, right? And so I think really what's next here is trying to get more high quality data for the training, and we can sort of go from there. But I'm excited. We can see here, we use the fine-tuned version of the adapter, of the Falcon 7B model. Inconveniently, we're seeing a memory used of 37 gigs, and so we could definitely use this quantized on a consumer card. The problem for me personally and for this project is that I've got these NVIDIA Jetsons, and they don't support the bits and bytes library, so we can't use them on that, and they only have 32 gigs of memory. And so I was really hoping that we would come in below the 32 gigs, but we came in just above the 32 gigs. So the other thing to do is probably explore and see if we can maybe find another model or something else there, or alternatively, I mean, also we can just use some consumer graphics cards and x86 machines instead of depending on the Jetsons. I did want to use them though because they're kind of neat. But yeah, that's pretty cool. If you're interested in sort of seeing how it's built, we've got this, the health insurance LLM. It's on GitHub. Let's go ahead and bring that up. It's inside of the organization Totally Legit Co. Because it is indeed totally legit. And if we go over here, we can see the health insurance LLM, and this is the LLM for generating the health insurance stuff. I think it's really cool. I'm going to walk through a few bits and pieces of it really quickly. So the main interesting thing, I think, is the dataset tools. And so fundamentally, our big problem here is that we don't have a large number of health insurance appeals to work with. But the good news is the state of California does publish a lot of health insurance review decisions. So what we did inside of this CA data is we get all of those decisions. We do a little bit of like data cleaning, try and extract, what the decision was about, and then we go ahead and we use Dolly. I do want to use Falcon. It doesn't work with Falcon just yet because memory issues, as mentioned. And there we go. Right, yeah. And so then what we do is we take these and we generate appeals and denials. They're sort of synthetic. They're not perfect. And once again, we also do some additional cleanup on the results to sort of filter out some of the appeals that don't make sense. Some of the times it refuses to generate denials because it seems so unlikely to it that health insurance company would deny it, so the language model just refuses to do that, which I think is telling. Health insurance companies are more evil than even a model that we ask to behave like a health insurance company. And so that's kind of cool. And we use this and we get a fair amount of synthetic data. The other one is we also use BioGPT. BioGPT is trained by the folks over at Microsoft, and it's trained on the abstracts of PubMed. And this is PubMed. And so all kinds of medical research and stuff is in PubMed. And so the reason why I figured we could also use that to try and generate appeals is that it does tend to have interesting information about like why things are medically necessary. And so that's what we do. We use the PubMed model. And so here we see what we do for the prompt for PubMed is treatment is medically necessary for diagnosis because, and then we go ahead and we generate that with BioGPT. And I think it's pretty cool there. And yeah, that's kind of sort of the 5-minute, I guess, is it 5-minute? Whatever. Yeah, it's a little bit more than 5 minutes. That's the super brief overview of what it is. If you want, you can run it yourself. It is a little janky. It does need some pretty beefy machines to run on. For the training, it uses 8 A100 with the 80 gigs of RAM because otherwise it runs out of memory. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and I think that we can make it more challenging for health insurance companies to deny us the care that we need. And, you know, we can use language models to fight the bureaucracy of American health insurance. And then, you know, eventually we should fix American health insurance, but that seems unlikely to happen anytime soon. And if you're interested, I streamed making most of these videos, I streamed making most of this model, so you can check out my YouTube and you can sort of watch me struggle and watch the process. I think it's kind of neat because you get to see sort of like the good and the bad and the ugly. Anyways, that's all. Happy Pride Month. You know, have a lovely rest of your time.